Happy Wednesday, Elevators.
Hey.
This is take two.
I do want to just hit enter, but I can't.
So, yeah,
find it.
guys, we are having the fellas on all June. So, and I think it isn't even going to be every week. I think we might do some impromptu because so many guys are just so anxious to get on our podcast. But we're coming live today with... I don't even know if y'all have enough time for me to introduce this guy.
That's a drum roll.
I'm sure you already know who he
She's so good,
is,
Mike,
but
you
for
go.
those of you who, I don't know, have maybe been in another country, this is the one and only Mr. Brian N. Beane. I'll tell you what the N stands for later.
Never.
He is he's an amazing entrepreneur, businessman, father, friend, everything. He's my personal mentor as well as Jessica's. And he has so many stories. There's so many aspects to Mr. Beane in the business world and even as a coach.
Yeah.
He has been in the corporate space.
Yes.
He is in the network marketing space. He has been in several companies, and whatever company he goes to, he goes straight to the top. He's always the number one producer, as he is right now. And he has an amazing son who calls me Auntie Gail. And so, yeah, we're just going to jump in.
Man,
And
thanks for having me, man.
I feel like you were supposed to say the Brian Beane.
Because he is
No,
the
that's
Brian
I want to
Beane.
add the one and only.
Ooh,
All
Brian
of that.
Beane.
Actually, we refer to him as the GOAT.
yes, the G-Toe.
The G-Tote
Greatest
because
of
he's
all
See where I
time.
came.
He's
You
the
see where I came?
greatest trainer of all time.
Just
He's
when
a
my
coach.
self-esteem was going down.
All you needed to do was come on the
I had to fly in, man. I had to fly in. I said, I know where I need to go.
There you go.
Okay, where to elevate
I
you.
feel it. You need some elevation.
Yeah.
Elevation.
But it's not even hard with you.
No,
it's
I
true.
appreciate it.
It's
I
all
appreciate it.
true.
I appreciate
Awesome.
it.
This
So
is
all
exciting.
I'm saying real quick before we get started, you said I mentor you and I mentor Jessica. I mean,
I know.
I feel like I'm missing
We're
something.
family, but we're family. It's not brother.
I'm not doing my
From
job
another mother.
if you aren't
Okay.
learning from your
There
boy.
you go.
All right.
There you go.
I'm gonna reel you in slow.
There you go.
That is-
Reel
that is
me in.
facts. That is
Absolutely.
facts.
What's up, man?
Okay, so we're going to start firing off.
I'm happy to be here. Oh, we come out with Q&A?
We
Okay.
come out with Q&A. But no, do you want to tell us anything about you before we start?
No, man, for real. I'm very, I like
off.
impromptu. I like the fact that you guys are just ready to fire away, and then you'll learn about me as we go. I'm not one of those guys that needs a whole bunch of subterfuge.
You don't really like the hype. I can see.
I don't. I'm actually more
Brian is an
introverted than people
introvert.
think. Yeah, I'm way more introverted than people think.
But
Yeah.
we're gonna pull you right on out into this
And you don't
extrovert
really have to
world.
pull him out because he adapts, I think,
Yeah.
in whatever environment you're placed in. That is one of the amazing things about you, Brian. So,
Well, thank you.
yeah.
When I'm on stage, I'm one person, and it's not that he's true too, but I'm
Absolutely.
I'm way more reserved than people think.
Yeah, we appreciate the
It's
humor.
kind of crazy.
Yeah. But very personable, I can
Very
tell.
personable,
I
yeah.
think you was on your phone too.
Well,
So Mama Gail is
No.
making sure we stay off these phones.
yes, but I want to make sure, like, I'm
trying to
somewhat
do that.
interacting.
But I,
Okay, with the audience.
Right.
But we
We
need
wanna
people to do
share
that too. That's
our
good
lives,
because we do
right?
want to see if we get any questions.
Yes.
I would love to take questions from your audience.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm
so-
very
Yes.
excited to be here, by the way. Those are some great accolades, but I'm
Outstanding.
very
I think
excited
at
and
least-
very impressed with this setup. This is very easy to navigate.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
yeah.
there.
Thank
you.
Coming
Yeah,
from someone who has podcast experience, right?
Not
I know he's
podcast.
going to tell us what it is.
Not podcast.
So for the audience, it's podcast experience, but he has a unique twist on it, right?
So
Yeah.
let's just start
You wanna
with-
start there?
Let's start there.
Oh man,
Start there with the Pondcast.
it is a podcast. That's something that hit me.
Listen.
It's a play on words. It's shot on a pond at Beane Acres, which is a property I was blessed to get about a year ago. And because there's a body of water behind me on the property, you're actually invited to speak with me on the Pondcast.
Love it.
Love it.
And my show is basically about turning trials and tribulations into celebrations and monetizing that message. So whatever you've been through,
Okay.
believe it or not, speaking about it is therapeutic. Me talking to you about it is actually more therapeutic for me, just as therapeutic for me. So we're both winning when you get to tell your story to the masses and inspire a lot of people. I just created a platform for you to inspire a bunch of people, and then you inspire me at the same time, so it's reciprocal.
Beautiful.
So yeah, man, we've all been through something. I think people see me, for example, 20 acres and on stage. They don't understand it's a lot of pain behind that. There's a lot of pain behind that.
We like to say there's a story to the glory, right?
Yes, absolutely. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. There's a story to the glory. Yeah, so that's what the podcast is about. It's called the Instincts Podcast because I teach people how to take their God-given instincts that they often don't use and tap into them like all his other creations do. Every other animal works at full capacity.
Okay.
An ant doesn't stop. A tree doesn't say, I'm done growing. An ant doesn't say, I'm stopped building. A bee doesn't say, I've had enough nectar. Every other animal goes 150%.
Okay.
And we're the highest source of intelligence on the planet, and we do like 10%. And that's a choice. So what I do is teach you on the Instincts podcast how to tap into your instincts and reach your full potential.
Do you think a lot of people are afraid to tap into that?
Yes, they're afraid because the unknown is scary, right?
Yes.
People rather pick known hell to unknown heaven.
Oh,
Yeah,
now
so
that's a good one.
Come on, y'all can tweet that. That's a tweet. The known hell.
People pick known hell to unknown heaven. So it's easier for me to just, stay where I am as opposed to reaching my full potential. That takes a little discomfort. And then I have fear of what I could actually become, which means I have to change, which is more difficult to do than stay where you are. So a lot of people don't even want to tap into it. They rather stay in the box. You have people who actually are about to get out of prison and they'll commit a crime, so they'll stay.
Wow.
Yeah, in real life. They're about to get out. You'll do 25 years. You'll be out next week, and you'll go ahead and just get into a fight so you can stay.
That is so true. I literally had a cousin.
Yeah.
He called like maybe 2 weeks before he was getting out. And he was on the phone telling me what he was going to do when he got out.
So he could get back in?
And he literally did it and went right back.
Right back in, yeah. Because it's easier. He's more comfortable actually in.
Exactly. Institutionalized.
And that's what people do. Yeah, that's what people do in life, period. They just aren't in prison. They're in prison in their mind. So, yeah.
Right. I was going to ask you, so what do you think is the bridge from getting people to who are afraid of doing something different and who would rather stay in hell, the bridge to saying, come out of your comfort zone, right, and do something different?
Well, it's all about your pain tolerance. In other words, the bridge is when you decide that your current situation is not where you want to be for the rest of your life. But that's a decision. You know what I mean? So IDE means death. I teach this in my politics and language training. Anytime you see IDE, that means death, right? Suicide, herbicide, genocide, homicide, pesticide. So anytime you hear IDE, that means death. Well, to decide is to decide to make a decision to kill something and become something else. So when you decide that your current situation is not what you want, then only you at that point can make the determination that you're ready to change it. And most people will never make that determination, ever. It's just that I was young enough to make that decision really early. Like, I do not want my current situation to be my long-term, my temporary situation to be my permanent situation.
Sounds like environment exposure experience, right?
Absolutely.
So once you have, the exposure, right, then you make a decision, right?
That you want that.
That you want that.
Yeah.
And that's why it's hard for people who are on drugs. You can't take them to rehab. They have to decide on their own.
Have to make, or alcohol,
that they're
or
ready
vice.
to go to rehab.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So my blessing was really just finding out early.
Yeah.
That I made that decision early.
Like, how early is early?
Because you're, only a baby now.
Well, yeah, we just found out I was a member of Generation X.
Yeah, we had this whole conversation
We had this whole thing about boomers and Generation X.
Shout out to the boomers.
Shout out to X. No, but millennial. So my mother, believe it or not, started giving me books when I was 9 years old, little pamphlets.
Okay.
Really, Jim Rohn's quotes. And I don't know what it was. I fell in love with them, man.
Wow.
Like, the same wind falls on us all. It's how you set the sail. And I would read, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Like,
At 9.
now when wind hits me, I'm like,
Did y'all have a TV?
nope.
I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
We did. We had a TV.
Expose your
Shout
children.
out to Mama Beane.
Yeah, shout out to Mama Beane, man. Yeah,
right.
so my parents put a lot of that stuff in me early and exposed me to positive thinking, positive mindset. I didn't even understand it really,
But
Wow.
you took it in.
I took it
You
in.
got in.
And then at 19, that pamphlet that was 9 pages went to 900 and some pages.
Okay.
The Laws of Success, and I read Laws of Success twice. It's like an encyclopedia,
Right. Awesome.
and I live by those principles.
Love it.
Beautiful.
Love it.
Y'all see why we call you the G out?
Oh man, we just getting started, man.
We are getting started.
Keep it going. Let's keep it going.
You mentioned your podcast because you were blessed to acquire some land.
That was a trip.
Not just some land, but like 22 acres of land.
20 acres of land, yeah.
Green Acres is the place.
It's Beane Acres.
Hey, Green Beane.
I love it.
Yes, it's Beane Acres. It's 20 acres. The lake is about 2 acres. It's 30 feet deep. It's fully stocked with fish.
Wow.
It's the perfect, to me, it's the perfect piece of property because of where it's located. My motto is in touch but out of reach.
In touch but out of reach.
In other words, it's not far. It's when people see it online, they think I live in Atlanta. They're like, man, I thought you were 2 hours away. I'm like, you're supposed to. But I'm right up the street by so-and-so. You know what I mean? And so you're in the vicinity of everything you need to be in, but when you get there, you forget how close you are to the city.
I like that.
Oh, we look forward to being there.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. Like, all joking aside, it's a property that's tough to beat because the way it sits, who my neighbors are, I promised I wouldn't reveal them, but who my neighbors are, multimillionaire football players, multi-million-dollar
I reveal them?
actors. No.
They're special. They're special.
I finally met him.
I remember. You
finally
sent me the
met him.
picture.
Yeah, and I saw how careful he wanted to be with his. I was like, oh, I've been telling everybody. No,
So you would say if I said the name, you would definitely recognize.
You know it. Yeah,
that's enough right there.
You would. Yeah, I mean, Hollywood films over and over and over.
Awesome.
But not just because of the neighbors. That just keeps me humble, right? When you look around and you see these mansions, and then here I am, a business owner in the middle of these icons. I'll put it this way: NFL player to One Direction, a Grammy Award winning hip hop artist in One Direction, and the son of an Oscar winner across the street, and then I'm literally in the middle.
Wow.
But that's not it. What it is the way the property actually sits. It can be 80 to 90 degrees, but on my property, I'm serious, there's a natural draft. I don't know how it works.
Wow.
There's a natural draft that flows from the front of the house all the way to the back. So you always feel a slight breeze. Then the water is there. Then it's shaded. It's not hot. You can fish. I cut in 4 different 4-wheeler trails. I'm building 3 tree houses. I just paid for what's called a topography, which is where the engineers come in to build an amphitheater. The house is an Airbnb. I'm building 3 container homes in the back. It's just an amazing property. It really is. It's like my whole life's work. Like if you want to see everything about me, you just come here and you'll get a little bit of everything.
Beautiful.
Yep. Speaking engagements, events, barbecues, 4-wheeler trails, building my son a basketball court. I just brought in 80 loads of dirt to elevate the family reunion where people can have weddings and reunions, the pavilion. It's a cash flow machine.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a cash cow.
That's good because I was going to ask you because everything you touch turns to gold.
Come on, Oprah. Come
You're
on.
very successful in every
touch me.
space, in every space that you step in. So all that your training, your teaching, your network marketing, your corporate, all of it is successful. Like I've been to Brian to Texas. Where did we go?
We went to Texas speaking engagement.
World's greatest speaker.
Top 10, yeah. I made top 10 before they cut me. Gail was there. It was a trip.
Oh, my
Yeah.
wow. You were one of the top 10.
I made out of thousands of people, I made top 10. Then it got political.
Oh, okay.
It was bad because Brian literally was better than all of the other speakers.
Yeah.
And the reason they didn't pick him because they said it wasn't fair.
Oh, because he was so good. He was on the way.
Brian.
Michael Jordan.
She's paraphrasing, but it was obvious that I'll tell you a funny story.
You were headed for the top.
This is hilarious, right? And shout out to the young lady that won. We still stay in touch. Her name is Felicia Scott. We still stay in touch.
Okay.
Love her to death. She won, and she deserves it.
Okay.
Tell you what happened. So that week I had an amazing week. I'm like, man, I'm finna go in here and kill this. They might well go on and hand it over. I'm like, look, I got it written down. I got my 3 minutes. I got it timed out. I know exactly what I'm gonna do, right? Then I met Felicia, and she was like, my grandmother just passed this week.
Funny.
I was like, I'm toast. Because she gonna get up here and the spirit of her, she's gonna channel. She's gonna pull on that emotions, and she killed it. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna win this one, right? This is before she even spoke. So I'll tell you a funny story. So you've ever seen American Idol or anything where they're like, if I call your name, step forward, right? And then so you step forward. And then this next person steps forward. This person stays back. This person steps forward. Right. These two stay back. These two step forward. I look to my left. Now, these are the people, this is the final 10. Okay. We're going down to the final 3. I look to my left and look to my right. They said, Brian Beane, step forward. I look. I was like, I'm gone, because she was terrible.
Okay.
Right? So, if I'm on your road, we toast. They were like, the people who stayed back, you guys can stay. If you step forward, you can go. I was like, thank you very much. Oh, then Gail will tell you, everybody pulled me to the back after they cut me. Pulled me to the back. We want to talk to you on the side about some things. Yeah. So it was great, though. It was a great experience, just being in the top 10. Wow. It wasn't designed for me to win. You know what it's designed for me to do? To realize I'm not really a speaker. I'm a trainer. There's a difference. There's a difference, because I went out there firing. Right. Gail will tell you, I went out there. Look, there are three ages: the Stone Age, the Ice Age, and the Electronic Age. And I went out there with these ages. I was like, you got to get off your ass and you gotta get off your butt and do something. Blah 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 blah. And everybody else was like, well, today I was born with a broken leg, and I went out there training. Wow. And it wasn't the world's greatest trainer. It was the world's greatest speaker. I was like, I'm not a speaker.
But you are a good speaker.
I'm a trainer.
I like how he got the lesson out.
I got the lesson.
Absolutely. That's what he said it was meant to be, right?
It was meant to be, yeah. Shout out to Felicia, man. She did a great job.
Hey, Felicia.
And I'm not saying I should have won. I'm saying it was hilarious.
Okay. You should have won. But I was saying that.
Thanks for sharing that story.
Period. In all of the things that you're able to do and that you excel in, I was going to ask you, what do you love most? But I think with your saying that with Beane Acres, you can kind of consolidate
everything.
All of the things that you do.
Yeah. I'm doing things on that property that I never thought I would do. Okay. I mean, I'm literally like, I don't know where I get the strength from, but you'll find me out there.
Tell them, Tim.
I won't wait on a person to help me. If that boat got to go from there to there, I just pick it up. I'm like, I have to get this boat from here to there.
God given.
If I got to get the 4-wheeler, tie it up. Wow. I'm like, I got an 18-year-old son, but he's like, I'll be over there in 10 minutes. I'm like, no, I need it in 3. Okay. I'm doing things. I pulled my shoulder and everything. It's been a trip, but it's bringing the best out of me, because I see exactly what I want it to look like. And I'm making sure.
I love it.
I like
that. It happens. By any means necessary.
On steroids, visionary.
Yeah, I'm fixing stuff and all kind of stuff.
I think a lot of people, they hold themselves in bondage when they look for everybody else to help them. They don't see your vision. You see it. It was for you. And so just for you to say, okay, you talking about 10 minutes, I need this done in 3 minutes. I got to do it myself.
Yeah.
Or for things to be perfect.
Yeah.
Because can we talk about when you bought the ducks that didn't know what water was?
Yeah.
Let me tell, I got to say.
Wait a minute, let's go back. I don't even know what part.
How is that possible?
The ducks, I'm still with the pond, okay?
Yes, this is part of it.
So you went and bought ducks. So talk about this purchase of ducks.
Yeah, Jess, you want to start it off? Because she said she wanted to jump in.
I just know he stated he had got 2 more ducks. And I was like, oh, what's their name? He was like, Re and Fun, because they won't do nothing. So I always call them Refund.
Refund, man. No, here's what happened. So what happened was, when I got the property, 2 geese, let's say, flew in and used my lake as their habitat.
Right.
I thought like they would always be
natural,
there.
right?
Natural. I'm like, no, they was using
talking
me.
about a city person for real.
Right.
I was gonna say, how do you even know?
I got 2 geese.
Yeah. Animals in a pond.
Yeah. So I'm thinking they always gonna be there. I mean, it was the most exotic thing I've seen. It was just so cool. So we sitting out on the dock tripping. They come in and they were just there actually to have babies. She was using my area to nest because my neighbor, who has a lake as well, like 20 of them are over there. So they found mine as isolation.
Okay.
Long story short, I got spoiled. So I said, if they aren't going to be here all the time, let me find something that's going to be mine. So I went and bought 3 ducks.
Okay.
Now, you guys, I just admitted that I teach an Instincts podcast where I teach about animals. Well, I hadn't studied ducks. Ducks have what's called, it'll hit me in a second, but they basically duplicate. The first animal they see is what they duplicate. I think it's called sublimation. It'll hit me. It's not that. But the first animal a duck sees is what it duplicates. So you hope that the first animal a duck sees is his mom. Is his duck. Not mine. The ducks I bought were raised on a farm, so they saw chickens. So they.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, so when I went and got them, we put them in a crate, a nice big dog crate. And I'm like, you guys are going to love what
Oh, this is going to be
It's
awesome.
so much better than this. It's only 3 of you guys. It's not 30. Y'all are going to get in this water and just watch.
And it was a big production.
It was a big production.
Okay,
We
here we
went
go.
live.
We live.
I had 50
We live,
people
y'all.
out there. I'm
We
like,
about to
y'all,
put the ducks in.
let's set them free. We're about to put them in the water. They got to the edge of the water and was like, what is this?
What is that? No.
We are not getting in. It's not happening. In fact, they did everything they could to back up.
Walk around it.
Everything. People throwing bread. You're not even supposed to feed them bread. Bread, the yeast expands their stomach. So I don't care who's watching this. I don't care what petting zoo you go to. You're not supposed to feed ducks bread.
Okay.
Even professional establishment allow you to feed them bread. You're not supposed to feed them
Because I
bread.
sure be at the park, huh?
Yeah, you're not. We throwing bread. Just
There you go.
ignorant.
Keep teaching.
So I finally got them in the water by buying them a swimming pool, teaching them what water was. They actually think they're chickens. Teaching them not what water was, but you know what I mean, making them comfortable. Took the pool away slowly but surely, and then finally one day I came out, and they would stay in the water just about as big as the pool was.
Wow, you had to buy the ducks
A pool, and they have a pond.
Introduce them to water.
Yes.
I got it.
And look, check this out. This is the funny thing about it. This is how humans work too. They swam in the pool, just a little kiddie pool. All 3 of them. They would get in the pool and get out. Then when they got in the pond, they had all that freedom, but they stayed right here.
Stayed
Right
right
next
there.
to
They stayed right here.
Look at it
That's
here.
exactly how humans are. Yeah.
Yes.
So needless to say, my next training was a duck training.
Okay.
And I literally taught my ducks to swim. I don't care what you say.
What?
Yeah.
And now when Brian does his podcast, because I witnessed this, I was there.
I whistle.
The ducks come on cue.
Yeah, I whistle.
So in the background, the ducks come floating by.
Yeah.
While
Yeah.
he's interviewing someone.
While I'm interviewing someone on the podcast, they'll be behind you.
Oh.
Y'all are going to see that because you're going to be my guest.
Listen.
Oh my God.
She
elevates.
Yeah.
Meet
I'm going to be
instinct.
on the podcast.
Yes, podcast.
Okay.
So now I have 8 ducks. That was 3. I've acquired 5 more. Those 3 were on the chicken, were raised with chickens on the farm.
Okay.
Since then, I got 5 more. So now,
The
and
other-
believe it or not, yeah, they hang with each other. So the first 5 hang together. They don't fool with the next
Oh
3.
my
The first 3
God,
hang
that is
together.
so
They don't
much
fool with the
like
next 5.
sometimes humans
It's like
are,
humans.
right?
I'm telling you, yeah.
Cliquish.
It's amazing. They're cliquish for real.
Wow.
They don't come together under any
Around
circumstance.
here, forming clique.
Look at it.
Forming cliques.
But
Yep.
that's why I love this
Animal
name,
cliques.
instincts, right? You
Yes.
you observe the instinct of
Of
animals.
the animals, yep.
It goes
And you
so
see
much
this
deeper.
with humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Draws a parallel. He's so good at drawing a parallel.
It's a gift,
That's a
man.
good-
It's
That's
a
why
gift.
he's my
Good.
mentor, because I be sitting down like,
I would've
Everything
never
is a
thought of
training.
that.
Everything in life
Everything.
is a training.
Teachable.
Yeah.
Teachable.
Everything is a
He's-
training.
And you've said that, and it
Yeah.
actually has helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Because I look at every incident like so. It's so much to you, Brian. So I'm just gonna kind of hop around.
Sure.
So, like I said, you Makai,
Yeah.
you have a family,
Yeah.
but you don't have a wife.
I don't.
Why not?
Y'all saw that single
I
time.
thought we were going to
like,
do the
why?
personal part later. I mean,
That was my idea, Brian.
Yeah.
Sorry.
yeah. Nah, man. You know what? Do you know for the longest, I thought I didn't believe in marriage.
Okay.
Why? Because I think it's overrated. Let me tell you what. Let me tell you why. I really believe that it is extremely difficult for 2 people who are constantly evolving, right? So here's what marriage is.
Feedback.
Okay. Okay. You are growing, evolving, and changing. Always. Right? I'm growing, evolving, and changing. Always.
Always.
Okay. So the 2 individuals that meet liked each other at the time.
As they were.
As they were, right? Now this is my fault. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying this
this
how
is so good.
this how I
'cause,
think.
like,
This is real,
So
though.
I grow-
I'm married. I can vouch for this.
Yeah, and it's a great example that you're married as well. So you grow, evolve, and change, and I grow, evolve, and change. And what we hope is that 20 years from now, I still like who you've become, and you still like who I've
Because
become.
I'm not who I was.
married.
when you married.
When you married me, right?
And neither are you, right?
Neither was I. Now, it doesn't matter how you slice it. 2 people are also strangers when we meet. Now, just because we fell in love, that does not mean I like your sister, your best friend, your nephew works my nerves. I ain't too fond of your father. You hate my brother. He lazy. You don't like half my friends. So we bringing all these strangers together too. Now I know they say you're supposed to keep the marriage in here, but let's not act like these influences one day at the barbecue are not going to interact.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's the constant growth, evolution, and change that eventually, in my opinion, the odds of those staying the same for a long period of time is less than the odds of us liking the new people that we're becoming. Now, being a man with assets, This is all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Prenup.
90% of the guys I know that got divorced, they the ones that have to start over. 90% of my male friends are like, yeah, man, you know, not even my male friends, guys I meet that are divorced. They're the ones that are having to start over.
As opposed to the
women.
They fine. Okay, I'm telling you.
Because they walk away with what
They
we
didn't
built.
split
They walk away with what we built.
the women.
Yes. It's the way, it has nothing to do with marriage, the spiritual connection. I'm talking about marriage, the institution.
We understand.
I got a little problem with the institution.
Now that I think about it.
So what
married.
he's saying, he's not married because he's gonna protect his assets.
I'm protecting my assets.
Did you hear what Gail said?
What'd she say?
Prenup.
Prenup. Right, prenup. And let me just say this to everybody listening.
Okay.
You know, a prenup protects both of us. Okay? That means I can't get what you have either. Okay?
I can't get your nothing. I can't get your nothing.
I can't get your nothing. I can't get my everything.
Whatever we came to the table with, that way I can't take advantage of your assets and you can't take advantage of mine. So a prenup protects both of us. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
So this is I'm going to say something controversial. And this is cool because we cool.
Yeah,
all right?
we cool.
I'm going to say something
Well,
controversial.
we were cool. Depends on what you get.
It's like he leading us up to something.
This is controversial, but I'm gonna say this. Okay. Women have to decide whether you want to be equal or not.
Okay.
You can't
Expound.
you
Speak
can't
on
pick
this,
and
brother.
choose when you want to be equal now.
I already
Okay.
feel
See, in the workforce and in sports and in pay and in Hollywood, it's me too and equality and this and that.
When
Well,
it's time to get a divorce.
right. What happened to me too? Okay.
Equality.
What happened to now? What happened to us being the same when it comes to some of this child support and alimony? Now there are some deadbeat fathers, and you deserve every dime. You know what I'm saying? You deserve every dime. Bro, you see him every Monday and holidays. She with this baby, and you trying to give her $90. Let's stop it now. Right? That don't pay for toothpaste.
We're not talking about
We ain't talking about
those
them.
kids.
Okay, we talking about the father that's got equal share, equal time. Women want to be equal in everything else, but then you got to get remarried for me to stop giving you alimony.
Oh
We
my
can't
God.
pick and choose when we want to be. It's
like
the
you said.
institution.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
system.
yeah.
And
That wasn't too controversial, was it?
I
wasn't.
don't think
It
so.
wasn't.
Ain't nobody shot me yet.
And I totally agree with the fact where you stated that, you know, people are constantly changing, constantly evolving. And that's what happened throughout my marriage. Like, we changed. Like, I changed, and he wasn't ready for that
change.
You know, and so it freaked him out to a certain level, and I couldn't stay there. You know, so
You
I had to
evolved.
make the decision.
Yeah.
Whether I'm going to stay in this situation and basically minimize myself, or am I going to step out
Wait on him to grow.
and do what it is I need to do. So,
Right.
wow.
And you got assets.
Oh my
Right.
goodness.
I'm just saying.
To
You got
that
assets.
point,
So, you
in
know.
my marriage, it's institution because it doesn't matter that before we went to court, we agreed that it was going to be equal. We're going to be equal. When we got to court, he told a different story.
See, people change.
And it's like, okay, Gail, you get to pay child support because you have assets.
See? We should protect them. See, the prenup
And
protects
that's
both of us.
institution. They don't care about really who you are or what situation you're going on. They're reading a book. And
Right.
these are the rules.
These are the rules.
Yeah.
And
And
let me
so
say this.
that's
I'm
what
not
it is.
saying when I get married, I have to have a prenup. What I'm saying is what's kept me away from it for so long is the understanding of that and the lack of understanding of how this is going to work. In the event that we decide we've become two people that can no longer be together, you mean to tell me you get to walk away with half my stuff? And it's because we no longer like each other, and a third party gets to step in, and I got to start my life over because I met you at some point. That's just not gonna happen.
Ooh, my goodness.
That's not gonna happen.
Real talk.
That's not gonna happen.
Talk. While the church is speaking, but we also have to know we're in the world, okay?
Right.
And that's what I think sometimes get confused with, right? Because we know, like you said, the Bible says that marriage is honorable, but you're not speaking from a spiritual standpoint. This is natural.
I'm speaking from an American standpoint.
so really, even in the church, because at the truth be told, the divorce rate is just as high. Okay, because this is real. We do grow. And are we growing together? Most likely not. But we can, as he said, am I going to wait for you to get here? So it has to be that conscious effort going in. I love it that this is being talked about. So whatever way you go, you know that you're going to evolve. The person that you are with today, most likely will not be the person
that you are
not
with
even next month, next
just
year.
like you won't be.
And we're not. And so I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
We had to, and for us, it really took a lot of checking in, a lot of acknowledging. There was a lot of counseling. There was a whole lot of, I don't know, but okay, wait a minute. And we made that decision to stay together.
And that's what it is. You have to make a decision. You have to be aware of what you're dealing with and make a decision that I want to do the work.
Right.
To get there.
And what did I say earlier? Decide meant to kill the old you.
That's right.
So you got to decide whether or not you want to kill the old you. How much of myself am I willing to lose to be with you the rest of my life?
And should you look at it that way, like I'm losing
something?
Exactly.
Right.
It depends. It's perspective. It's like if you don't say how much am I willing to lose, you could say, is this worth
me gaining more than I am right now?
Because as you grow, you said that, right? Those old things pass away. Yeah. So even with you growing, that other person is,
growing too.
Growing as well. So I like that.
I see so many couples. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying sacrifice.
Sacrifice, yeah. I see so many couples, right? Being in my industry of home-based business, teaching people finances, I'm going to say this too. A lot of dudes are weak. A lot of guys are weak, man, and they just are, because
in what way? Weak in what?
They
not muscles, right?
not definitely not muscle, but if the wife is trying to do better, they get intimidated. I know people who won't support. Look, I thought the definition of marriage was to get through this journey. Basic definition: to get through this journey called life. We've decided that we're going to get through this journey called life together. How can you bring a business that's for the betterment of us and he not even look at or support it? If it's going to help us, why are you trying to keep me down? It's a control thing. If I feel like you need me, then I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure you never get to a point where you don't. So a lot of guys have inferiority complexes. You see what I'm saying? Where if she does any better than me, or if she starts to learn more, if she goes back to school, or if she make more money than me, or if she starts to learn this money game, or if she can invest more than I can, then I'm less than a man. It's not true. A man will always have his role in a marriage. It has nothing to do with some of the things that a weak-minded individual thinks. A woman needs a man, and a man needs a woman, but it's not for you to keep your thumb on her so that she can't become what you think you are. She can never become what you are because she's a woman.
That's right.
Yin yang. I love it.
Elevate her.
Come on.
Elevate her.
You make a good husband.
So much truth.
He make a good husband now.
So many.
He already know the rules. Right?
He probably on his way.
I'm just saying, ladies, he's single.
He's not.
Women they will allow.
That's my friend.
They will allow the man to actually bring them down, and especially people that was close in my circle who know me.
They try to
like
isolate.
their spouse be like, oh, I don't want you hanging with her.
Absolutely.
Or be around her because they think I'm gonna somehow pollute their mind with something.
Wow.
But like, no, I try to show women like, listen, you got this. You can do this. Stop feeling like you gotta always depend on somebody else or depend on you can depend on your husband still.
Yeah.
If you're elevating throughout life, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I see it all the time.
It's prevalent.
Yeah, and you know what? A key part to this is maturity, right? What I see sometimes is we jump in with that childlike, that's my nice way of saying immature, mindset. And so because to go where you guys are speaking, there's a level of maturity that's required.
Right.
First of all, whether it's a man or a woman, because I've seen it on both sides, where that one person has a vision. And you're saying it is for the betterment of the household. It's for the betterment of the team. But because the other person isn't there, they're whatever. The pushback is, the resistance is, and now we have the conflict.
Right.
But the mature person is going to sit back and say, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Oh,
I get
a
it.
minute. I got it. Come on, let's go for it.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because even with the Bible talking about that helpmate, there's something here. And we're going to meet this thing. We're going to do this. There's help coming in this union, in this relationship. So it's not easy.
Yeah. And I'm not saying I'm the most mature person in a relationship. I got a lot of growth to do.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying that, but like the immaturity I have in relationships don't bode well for a relationship. Right. So let me just make sure I put myself on black because I'm like that.
Come on, put yourself out.
See, that's a real man speaking.
Yeah.
Most men don't do that.
Yeah. My immaturity, like for example, I have to do a better job of, I don't know where I even went to counseling for this. I didn't go to counseling for relationship counseling. I went to counseling because a lot of things were happening and I felt like I was about to slap somebody.
Okay.
So I was like, let me go to counseling and make
Thank God
sure.
for counseling.
I started letting a whole bunch of stuff build up. And I was like, somebody about to get it. So let me go to counseling and release some of this to somebody, right? But in counseling, I have to figure out why I have a problem with questions. Like you can ask me a question.
I think a lot of men are going to appreciate that.
Is that just natural?
No, I think
like,
I know a lot
you
of
can't
men that
ask me a
got
lot of questions at one time though. Like you can ask me a question, right?
Where you going? Why you doing?
Okay, then I'm gonna answer that. You can ask me another one. I'm gonna answer that. But I got a 2 max. Like
now you want to be like,
Brian, give me
ask
3.
me what you really want to
ask
ask.
me what you really want to ask me within like a 10-minute thing, man. Like why you ask me all these questions?
Now you getting a little irritated.
I'm getting irritated. So here's why. And this is what my counselor told me. This is what my therapist told me.
Okay.
I grew up with a really long leash. Really long leash. My dad was a Parliament Funkadelic. He's a musician.
Okay.
Right?
Gotcha.
I grew up around I was catching the bus and the train, this back when it was a little safer, way before I wouldn't even let my child, he 18, I'm still like, you better call me when you get home.
Exactly.
But I was very independent.
Okay.
So
Okay. Liberty, freedom.
think about it. Free as a child to do what I wanted to do. No curfew ever.
Oh, wow.
Parents gave me a long leash, right?
Okay.
Retired when I was 22.
Okay.
So I've never been in a structured type of environment, right? I'm more spiritual than I am religious. So I don't buy into a certain doctrine. I think all of us have our beliefs and we should support whatever helps you get through life, right? So I'm more spiritual than religious. So no job structure, always been entrepreneur. No real, had discipline, but didn't really need it because I was a good child. So no real tight leash growing up. And marriage is the antithesis of all of that. So when you got somebody that now you got to kind of be accountable for their feelings, you got to make sure that you ask them first, and you got to make sure you check with them first. You got to make sure you let them know when you land. You got to make sure you let them know you're taking off. You got to make sure before you come home, if you're going to stay out too late. I'm like, ooh, this tough.
That might go against the grain.
This tough.
That's going against the grain
I'm just
a
not
little bit.
used to having to be that accountable.
Listening to him say that, it's like, dang,
That's too much to even think about.
I think that's
Considerate,
the
though. I
answer.
think it's
It
a word
makes
that we
sense.
use.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you after having all that freedom and doing all that you want to do now to be caged in.
Caged in. And if it's caged
Consideration.
in,
I just-
to be more
Caged in, if
considerate.
you
Yeah.
have to-
If I may feel like it's caged in, but it's actually being
Exactly.
more considerate, right?
Of
So I'm
someone else.
But
aware.
is it considerate or is it changing your behavior?
Absolutely.
I don't think it's
gonna
being
change.
inconsiderate not to want those things. It's
Yeah.
just-
But if you're
like
in a
you said, it's the
relationship.
environment and all that, yeah. If
you're in a relationship, it goes to what you're
It's a
saying.
choice, which
It
is
has
why
to be
you're
a change,
single.
and
Yeah.
you're aware of who you are and your makeup, right? The
Right.
environment exposure experiences has created this wonderful
Exactly.
creature.
Yeah.
And now
who
when we
is so successful in so many other
And
areas
that's
because
the
of that.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Gail
So
just
we're
hit it.
speaking on the
Gail just hit it on the
relationship
head.
part.
Gail
Right.
just hit it on the head. Look, you got to like seriously, man. When I tell you, one of my friends the other day, he asked me, he said, Brian, would you do anything different with looking back? I don't know why people ask this question, but it's a popular question now.
Yeah,
The younger
yeah,
version of
yeah.
yourself.
What would you tell
I'm
yourself?
like, I'm so tired of it.
Thank
But
you.
I wouldn't change anything, man.
Beautiful.
My life is so cool, man. I got the coolest son. I make great money. I'm living out my dreams. I have not seen a goal that I can't Obtain. Obtain.
Obtain.
ATTAIN
And he's smart. He can spell.
Attain. I haven't seen a goal that I can't attain. I have a lot of friends. I have great relationships other than my 2 siblings. And I just want to put that on the record. Okay. Yeah, because my therapist told me to get stuff off my chest. Okay. I have 2 siblings I can't stand. I have 3 that I love.
Next year he may love them.
He's speaking his truth.
I'm speaking my truth. She told me to get off my chest. So
Did she tell you to do it on our podcast?
whenever possible, as often as possible. So my thing is this. Here's the another thing. You have to share me with a lot of people.
Yes.
You got to share me with a lot of people. I got where I am because I'm a great networker and I build great relationships. I am 1 or 2, maybe 3 calls away from anything we need. Not me. We.
That's good.
So you have to understand that I've been for 25 years professionally a networker. So I can fly to any city and stay anywhere. I can fly out of the country and pay for whatever we want. But that comes with you having to share me.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, that just reminded me
Yeah.
of taking that.
I think it's
I
think it's doable.
Quiz.
Yeah.
Love language quiz.
Yes.
Remember, that's like saying
Quality time.
I fell in love with you, but I am a person that needs
Physical touch.
I need you here, but you like me because I'm not here. Because
Right.
I can go do what
I
I'm
want to do.
doing.
That's what attracted you to me.
Yeah.
So we
attracted
can't
you
cut
to
it
me.
off and on. It's like, look, so
That's good.
that's the
It
thin line right there. I got to be able to, a person has to understand that I got to go to New York in the morning. Well, she cannot do this. Well, when did you find that out? I found out when I just told you. Okay. If I got to go to New York in the morning, I'm just telling you
Listen,
just now
future
because I
wife.
found out 5 minutes ago.
Future wife.
You see what I'm saying? But
I'm not gonna laugh because I like her.
this,
I'm just telling her. He's telling her what
but look,
it takes.
but this lifestyle,
Right.
This lifestyle requires me to be able to do that. So if you like this lifestyle, one thing you can't do is cramp it.
Change.
I'm gonna be like, baby, when the flight? When we leave?
You gonna call me and tell me where you need. Okay.
And this is every relationship I've been in.
Okay.
That's been the challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
People can't believe that I'm still close with my son's mother. I can't believe it. When to me, this is the norm. Let me just hit on that for a minute.
Let's talk about that. Yeah.
How on God's green earth
Yes.
are you dating me and don't like the fact that me and my son's mom are still close? I'm not saying that's my
All
situation.
for the betterment of this child.
The child is what's supposed to matter. So that
Priority.
says a lot, honestly, about you. If you got a problem with
Say
people
that.
who are still cool with their significant, their
Because
former.
that should be a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because the opposite of that is y'all hate each other. And guess who that affects?
Oh,
the
the
child
child.
that you're going to be around a lot.
Exactly.
So you better start thinking a little more long term about which one you want. You want a child that's unhappy because his parents are miserable. And now that you date me, you got to deal with his issues. Or you want something where we all cool.
We all cool.
It's been established. We all good.
Oh my God.
And I
love
think
it.
we was kind of talking briefly about that this morning, like when the older people tell you, like, when you have kids, you're not living for yourself no more. You're living for the kids.
And I
So
love
if they did have like a bad relationship, like that child is seeing all that, and now that's gonna pour over into his life. And when he start to have kids, they don't.
Emotions.
A lot of people don't look at that, but that's all being a part of a
Maturity.
responsible adult.
Adulthood.
And
Yeah.
maturity.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, I've seen people who can't believe it or understand it.
Yeah.
They can't
That's
believe it.
unfortunate.
The norm is, I mean, it's natural. Yeah, it's the norm is a natural wedge. You know,
Right.
You know, really. So how cool are y'all? I'm like extremely cool. Let's get this up front. Do you have a problem with it? You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness, you're saying something there, and I will tell you. I had actually it's a family member who has a baby's mother that we call him, and one thing he said is, you know what, I am concerned about her because she's the mother of my child. So when she's doing good, I know my child's are doing
Right.
good. You know, my children are doing good.
mature.
And so when we have a good it's exactly what you're saying. It's healthy for the child.
Yeah.
So anybody coming in must understand that. So I think a lot of this, Brian, for me is communication. And I can respect what you're doing. You already have it right. This is why I'm not. And let me tell you why.
Yeah.
And this is what it's going to take for me to cross over.
Yeah.
So
now it took some work. Like we weren't always like that. You know what I'm saying? It took some work. When I tell you, like the first 8 years were horrible.
Okay, so you kind of were in that traditional space.
Yeah, I was in the space that most people used to. I'm like, nah, this ain't gonna work.
The
you know what I mean?
emotions,
So all of that. But you know, when you start realizing that the child is what matters, you got to get over all them other issues.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So this takes a certain level of maturity. Right?
Yes.
So the bottom line is the business and I mean, most of my friends are female. Most of my friends are female. Why? Dudes be some suckers, man.
He's a likable guy, though.
Dude, I make myself so easy to love. Right? No, a lot of dudes be suckers. And I got some
Do you
good.
have brothers or sisters?
I have one brother
and
and 2 sisters.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad has 6 children, but I have 1 brother and 2 sisters.
He said what he said.
Next.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have 1 older brother that lives in Atlanta, and I have 2 sisters. 1 lives in Texas, and 1 lives in Tennessee.
Okay. Because I know I was trying to make the association. Sometimes, right, your upbringing really determines, right, how you relate to the opposite sex or to the same one. I know, you know, with my uncles, they're 6 and 6, right? So that's a good split.
Oh, that's a good split.
But anyway.
Yeah.
So
this just came from, again, my career as a networker. Women are way better networkers than men. Now, if I'm a network marketer, I'm going to put women in the forefront because women are actually better networkers. Y'all get together and do each other makeup, nails, and talk trash, and you know she elevates. And, you know, dudes. I can't say that guys can't. I'm not saying guys can't do that.
Right.
But a lot of guys, man, they don't uplift each other. I won't say a lot.
It's rare.
It's more rare than I would like for it to be. And I've seen people, I've had, a person I took in my house, I mean, let them stay there and they dip, don't even say thank you. I've had, you know, so it goes both ways, but all I'm saying is in my space, women traditionally do better. So I nurture them more because it's easier to help them become successful because guys won't listen to another guy.
So women don't like
say that all the time.
Especially when you're younger.
He say women trust women, men trust women, but men don't trust men, and women don't trust men.
Yeah. So you got this guy that's 19 years old leading all these people. An older person had a hard time listening to me, even though I retired when I was 22. You still got an older guy, whereas a girl is like, a young lady's like, I don't care how old he is. If he can get me off my job,
I'm looking at
I'm rolling,
the fruit there, right?
I'm rolling with him, right? So I've always attracted more women, and I've always trained more women. You know, that's just the way it works.
That's just,
So you have to understand that dynamic. So I'm not the easiest person in the world, but you will be better off after. My goal is when we meet, if it doesn't work, I promise you're going to be better off than you were before. Yeah. I'm still cool with a lot of my exes. That's another problem.
Wait a minute. How about
a lot of my exes?
He ain't never been married. Right. Awesome. This is great.